Well, hello, Canadian Campaholic here, coming to you from my rather untidy basement. It is late February now, 2021. Thought I'd check in with you guys, see how you're doing, but also to discuss a topic today that's frustrating me a fair bit, and I think if you live up here in Canada, especially in Ontario, you're running into the same frustration. Heck, even in the US, you may be running into this. And that is the craziness with attempting to book reservations for the 2021 camping season. It has absolutely exploded up here. And so today I want to talk a little bit about why I feel that's happening and talk a little bit about some of the reasons I think it's being aggravated up here in Ontario. So without further ado, let's talk about the issue. So basically, in a nutshell, what's happening is the demand for camping reservations for Ontario parks, which is our version of state parks for my American friends, the reservation demand has increased by over 150%. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Camping has certainly become a lot more popular in recent years. I can remember probably close to 10 years ago when my family and I jumped into camping again. We wouldn't have the funds necessarily to book the camping season until we got our tax return, which for us was early March. And a lot of times I could wait until early March and start booking anything that was within a 5-month window. So when you book reservations here for Ontario parks or our state parks, you have to be booking within a 5-month window. So your arrival date has to be within 5 months of your booking date. And I could wait until March. I could book any location I wanted. I wouldn't always necessarily get my favorite site necessarily, but I could get a really good, decent site without much problem. In the subsequent years, each year it got busier and it got busier and it got busier. And I think just the economy and the cost of traveling and all the rest of it, a lot of people really got into camping, and that was to be expected. But this year specifically has just gone nuts. And I think a lot of it is because it is incredibly difficult to travel internationally right now because of the pandemic. In this country, if you do opt to travel, you have mandatory quarantines when you come back into the country that are quite expensive and very restrictive. So I think a lot of people that would normally go to the Caribbean or maybe down to the US or anywhere else in the world are deciding to stay at home. And of course, if you go to Google or your favorite search engine and type in camping in Ontario, what is the first thing that's going to come up? Ontario parks. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, why don't you just book somewhere other than a state park? Well, the issue that we have in this area, at least in southwestern Ontario, is that if you want to go camping anywhere else with an RV or a trailer that's not backcountry camping, you're pretty limited. You're dealing with RV parks and conservation areas, and I'll be honest with you, that's not my cup of tea. They're not very rustic. They're not necessarily very woodsy. They're more geared for social campers that want to play music, have a few beers, have a party, and they're not necessarily worried about the great outdoors. And that's fine. I have nothing against that. But for us, as I've mentioned in previous videos, we want to be in a woodsy sort of situation where it's you and your private little site. You can certainly see your neighbors, but it's peaceful, it's tranquil. It's much more in touch with nature. So that being said, Ontario Parks is by far the best. And the bookings have just gone insane. The other day, I got up at 7 a.m. in the morning, which is when the booking window starts, to try and book a reservation in July for a reasonably popular campground. I'm not going to say where, but a reasonably popular one. There were literally only 3 sites left in the entire park. The place has got in excess of 200 sites, both electric, non-electric. And there were 3, and as fast as I was trying to book them on the website, other people were booking them out from underneath me, and I didn't succeed. I looked for the rest of July. I thought, well, maybe a Tuesday, Wednesday arrival, because it used to be that if it was a weekend, a holiday weekend, or any weekend for that matter, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, forget it. But if you book Tuesday, Wednesday, you might actually get some space. Absolutely no luck. And I think that there's a ton of people that want to camp this year. There's a ton of people that probably never have camped before, and they're choosing it as an option, and it's going to be insane. So even if you can get a reservation somewhere, it's going to be incredibly busy. And I think that's the reality that we have to face. And I think that as long as this pandemic exists, we're going to have issues with booking. But the other thing I wanted to talk about in today's video is I do think that the provincial government should be doing more to help with the situation. So let me show you what is on their website, and let's talk about those cancellation policies and why I think that is compounding the issue. So we're going to go a little low tech here. I thought about putting screenshots in, but I'm feeling lazy today, so we're going to go low tech. So this is the Ontario Parks website, and you can see that one of the first things I'll point out here is that if you do cancel reservations, it's saying here under changing and canceling reservations, reservations cannot be changed or canceled more than 4 months in advance of your arrival date. So if I was able to book something now in February for, say, July, let me think here, March, April, May, July, that's 5 months out, I wouldn't be able to necessarily cancel it just yet. Now, it then says that a reservation penalty or administration fee may be applicable if you choose to cancel. So let's go take a look at that. So it says if you're going to make a change to your reservation, if you do it online, you're looking at $7.52 Canadian plus tax for any change that you make online. And then it talks about the cancellation penalties. And I know this is a little bit hard to read, but it's saying if you've held it for 1 month or less, you're going to lose 10% of your campsite fees. So for someone who's booked it last minute and they've only had it for about a month or less, and it's within the necessary windows, they're going to lose about 10%. If you book it now and hold on to it for July, let's say, and you've held on to it for more than 4 months, and then you start canceling, you're losing 50% of your total campsite fees paid for the reservation. But here's where the problem is coming up. There are an awful lot of people that are exceptionally greedy, and I will even say inconsiderate, that are maxing out their reservations. So I told you earlier that you can book a reservation up to 5 months in advance. And the reservation penalties are fairly steep. I think they should be steeper. More on that in a minute. But the other thing that is on the website is it says you can book up to a maximum of 23 days. Unless you're a full-timer, I don't see why anybody would have any business booking 23 days all in one shot. That is huge. If you do 23 nights, the average price right now for a campsite, which is electrical, it's probably a bit over $50, but let's just say $50. You're looking at a reservation that's costing you $1,150. If I went by myself, could fly from Toronto to England for less money than that, but $1,150. What is happening is some of the clowns out there are finding the location that they want. They're finding the dates that they want. It's usually not 23 nights, but the SOBs are booking 23 nights all in one go, starting in, say, what's 5 months from today? Today's the 25th. So from July 25th, they would book 23 nights to get a weekend. Sometimes it's a holiday weekend. It's Canada Day, Victoria Day, something to that effect, civic holiday, Labor Day, whatever. Some cases it's just, no, we really want these few days, in July. We want our specific site. We're going to book 23 days. And there's a lot of people that don't want all 23 days. And what they do is as it gets closer and closer to the time, they just start canceling it and paying the penalty. Well, if you divide this in half, let's say it was a 50% penalty, not including the administration fee, you're looking at a $575 forfeiture. And there are some jackasses out there, pardon my language, who will gladly bite that loss because they want to be greedy and they want to keep their reservation. So, two things here. One, I don't feel that the cancellation policy is strict enough. They've certainly made it more strict than it used to be. This was a much bigger problem. But I think that allowing people to book up to 23 nights at a time is ridiculous because it enables people to grab huge reservations when they don't necessarily need it and hold on to it for a very, very long time. Well, then that begs the question, well, how does that affect me? Well, typically for us, the most we will ever book at one given time is either weekends, because we're weekend warriors. We'll do like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday stay, or we'll do a Saturday, Sunday, Monday stay. But sometimes in July or August, when we know the weather's going to be nice, we like to do like a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, go home on a Wednesday. But because of those greedy buggers that are booking these 23-day-long reservations, a lot of folks like myself don't even get a chance to get a reservation because somebody else has taken it all. Proof of this is what I sometimes see at the provincial or state parks around here, and that is you will go in when the campground is quote-unquote full, and you'll stay for 2 or 3 days, and for the bulk of that time, a lot of the sites around you are empty. Now, right now, during the time of COVID, Ontario parks are limiting the number of reservations that they're allowing in each park, and that's compounding the issue, but I understand why they're doing that. They're trying to help enforce social distancing. But this was a problem even prior to that, even in non-pandemic years. We would go and stay at Point Farms, for example, or at the Pinery, and all these sites around us on the website would show as reserved, and then for the bulk of the nights we were there, they were empty. And I suspect, again, that these folks had booked huge windows of time, didn't care about the upfront cost. They just wanted to be greedy and kind of cheat a little bit and secure their site. And all kinds of other people that would be trying to book for those days can't get in there. How fair is that? And I know what you're saying. Oh, wah, you're whining and complaining, whatever. Well, let's think about it, folks. I mean, the camping season in this country, if you're lucky and you've got a good rig, you could probably camp from April through till maybe December. But that's still leaving several months of the year if you're more modest. Most people camp from May to October. That's 5 months a year where you can't go out and enjoy the camping season. And when our Ontario parks are becoming incredibly popular, when there are less options for people to be able to go and travel abroad, I think it's really unfair that some folks are using these sorts of tactics to cheat the system. I think that the government should basically regulate this more. They should say that people can only have, let's say, 2 weeks at a time. I think they should also limit how often someone can book reservations because, again, you've got people that will do 23 days at the start of the season. They'll do 23 days in the middle, 23 days in the end. I guess there's ways around it. You could put it in different people's names, spouse's name, whatever, and so on. But ultimately, yeah, it's a vent and it's a rant, but it's very frustrating. I've never had a year like this where it's going to be nigh on impossible to get a reservation. Our only option at this case, for some parts of the summer, is going to be to wait because some folks will cancel dates. They will eat that $575 plus tax, and all of a sudden you will get spaces that open up. But if you're working, if you have a busy schedule, if you have limited time off, you don't necessarily have the flexibility in your lifestyle to just on a whim say, oh, we're going camping this week. You sometimes need time to prepare. And this whole situation really aggravates that. But anyway, enough of my rant. Let me show you something positive to end this video on, and then we'll let you go. So to wrap this video up, which I realized was a little negative and me ranting, so you have to forgive me, I thought I'd end on a slightly more positive note. I'm joined, of course, by our camping puppy, Gracie. Say hi, Gracie. You want to come say hi? Say hello to everybody. This is our 1.5-year-old Great Dane. She's a sweetheart. But what I wanted to show you was in our travel trailer, those of you that follow the channel know we've got a nice queen-size bed. And this past Christmas, my wife surprised me with a very thoughtful gift for that queen-size bed. Gotta make sure I don't get dog hair on it, so you go stand over there, puppy. Oh, it's okay, go stand over there. I gotta show the people something. Okay. So, my wife went on to a website of a well-known retailer, and I gotta try not to get pet hair all over this, but she got me this lovely fleecy Sherpa, I think you sometimes call this, blanket. I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see, but it has all kinds of photos. Do I even have this the right way up? From our camping trips. So there's my son looking at the sunset at Pinery. We've got pictures of me in the trailer on my birthday with my kids and our baby who was born in July. It's another Pinery sunset. There's photos on here. That's Point Farms, I think, with the kids in July. That's another pinery. I think there's some McGregor Point on here too. But a photo blanket, really nice blanket to have on top of our existing duvet on our queen size bed. So I thought that was really nice, and you know, something to look forward to for the upcoming camping season. Anyway, we're going to wrap this video up here. I hope you guys are able to secure some sites and can look forward to making some memories this year. And here's looking forward to the 2021 camping season. We'll talk to you later.